Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, I am going to be walking you through this renovation project that we started 1 year ago, and we are completely done, and I'm going to walk you through and show you everything that we did to this house. I'm going to start outside the house, even though these are not the first things we did to the home, but we'll show you what we did. This used to be a two-car carport that actually at one time went all the way through on this second side bay, but we decided to close it all the way in and create a two-car garage for this house, which is an amazing change, and it really kind of brings the face of the house all together with the rest of the house. When we bought this house, I teetered between the idea of keeping the original aluminum siding that was on this house, because it wasn't in the worst shape, but it wasn't something I really loved. I knew we were gonna have to paint it, or the idea was to change it to this new Savannah Smooth Nichiha product, which is a cement fiberboard. So we decided to go with that. When we ripped off all of the siding to start the window projects, we realized that there was no board sheeting around the entire house. So we had to resheet the entire house and then put our siding on. But before we did that, we replaced all of the windows with a low E high efficiency window from Ansco. And I will link all of the products we used in the description down below. And it was absolutely necessary that we replaced all of the doors on the house with new fiberglass insulated doors. Hello there. Come on in. As we come into the house, one of the first projects we ever did, it was actually the second ever Today's Task video that I've made, was we ripped out this wall that went along here. When you walked in before, it was a tunnel and you had to walk in and around here to get into the living room. It wasn't necessary, it wasn't load bearing, so it immediately had to go. Originally on the house, this wall actually went to the ceiling and continued all the way over to about here and then cut straight back. And behind it was all of the kitchen, and over here was actually the formal dining area. We knew we were gonna tear out the kitchen because one, the floors were terrible, there was a lot of rot underneath the wood, and it just was too small, it wasn't functioning, and the cabinets were bad. It was just a bad situation to begin with. So we thought, let's move it to a better place in the house. When you used to walk into the house, there was actually a French door that went out here from the formal dining area into the backyard. I had to fill that in, which is a video I will link in the description down below, or it will be in this playlist as well. Keep watching, you'll find it. But we built this wall up and put a window in it for our new kitchen to sit and surround. But I really wanted to maintain a door somewhere in this vicinity so that if they put a patio out here eventually, they have access to it. So we put this Ansco sliding glass door right here, and it gives you access to this whole backyard right there. One of the biggest projects we had to do was make sure that this beam could handle the load of this wall and area going out, because it was gonna take all of it. So with my friend here, I checked it and we found out that there was termite damage so bad. So this whole beam had to be replaced. And that was today's task video that I will link in the description as well. A wonderful one, a difficult one. I'm so glad it's in because this is solid, sturdy, and never coming down. This part of the house actually used to be a long corridor that was really, really narrow. It was only about from here to the wall. So it really wasn't wide enough to put a couch and a TV on the wall. You'd sit really, really close. It wasn't functionable for really much of anything, so we decided to rip every single wall out of this portion of the house and redo all of them. In doing so, we realized a couple things. One, this floor was uneven from this floor. They were never gonna match up. And two, we realized that there was rot in some of the joists and also in the bathroom that sat over here for the master bedroom, and that all had to come up. So we gutted it and relaid it with new furring strips, then new flooring, all new plumbing, and all new walls in this entire master area. With the help of a good friend and designer, we were able to map out this area being the new master bedroom, which is a 14 by 16 foot room. That's bigger than my master bedroom, and so I have had envy of this house from the moment I started working on it. In this original section of the house, there actually was a hallway that went along here and a little bitty bathroom, not bigger than my arms right here, that had a tub and a sink and a toilet. It was teeny, but all the flooring was rotted, so we had to rip it all up. So we took all those walls down, relayed them, refurbed up all these walls, and put in a nice deep soaker tub, a ginormous double shower head, and really turned out well. Both of these came from Mountain Land Kitchen and we're really happy with them. All of the faucets in this house are now Delta faucets, and I will link that in the description down below as well. There were a few days that when we were designing this with me and my wife and our drafter that we were a little bit both depressed, thinking this is a lot bigger and nicer than our personal home is right now. After the bathroom, we decided to take the remaining square feet in this room and design a his and hers combined walk-in closet. This closet is ginormous. There's plenty of cubby space and plenty of hangers for both him and her. I figure the husband can have this little section right here, and the remainder will probably go to the wife. I really want to show you this shot again, not so that we can show the kitchen, because it is gorgeous and it's so perfect. I mean, this island, I can't believe it. But I really want to show you that when we took out that original kitchen, we had to rip down all of the sheetrock through here because there was a drop ceiling built in, and it was a disaster. There were mice through every inch of it, which we had to mitigate, finally eliminating some of the smell in this house. But it also revealed to us all of the wire junctions in this house. And so from that point on, I was rewiring 95% of the house. The only wire that's original in this house is anything from there back into those rooms. But anything that comes from the junction box all the way over to this master bedroom, all the way downstairs, it's all new wiring and breakers, which is so nice. So the plumbing and the electrical in this house is 2020. Tell me you do not love this ginormous island. This is 6 feet by 6 feet by 3 feet and by 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, you get it. It's a lot of surface area. It's a lot of countertops that we had to buy, but it worked out really, really well. We also bought the exact same countertop for here and through all the vanities in the entire house. It is a quartz product, which we went with quartz for a couple reasons. One, it's a nice solid surface that can cantilever off of cabinets really, really far. We're not even anywhere near as far as we can go. But two, it's 100% antimicrobial. This cannot hold bacteria down into it. It's not porous. Bacteria can live on it, I guess, if you don't clean it up. But unlike most stones, they're porous and bacteria can get down in. The quartz, it cannot. Super cool, super nice. I really like the way it is, and it's super consistent in all of it. So if you like the uneven veins, quartz may not be your thing to you, although they can replicate it. But if you just like a super consistent pattern throughout, this nice speckle, quartz is your guy. I'm not really sure if Bonnie and I added this kitchen and built it in this way because it matches ours at our house, but I really like the functionality of it. I like having the sink looking out the window. That was really important to me. I like having the stove here, and I like just enough space that I can work on this countertop, but the fridge is still close by to your work area at the stove. I really like our cabinets as well. They are all soft closing. Just little details that I like. Now, I know some people have already watched this video or a similar video on a channel called Bonnie Holeen. Whatever, if you've watched it there, great. Here you're gonna get the real information of what really went into putting these in. In order to put this island in and in all of the electrical here and all of the plumbing here, we had to move everything. I had to put plumbing and electrical into this island, clear it out to here, which has to be on its own breaker. I had to put new electrical into this wall and plumbing all into this wall, and then we had to vent it out of the house here. You may not remember, but there actually used to be a swamp cooler coming down out of the ceiling right here that all had to go, and the ceiling and everything else on the roof had to be replaced as well. As far as the upstairs bedrooms go, there weren't a lot of changes that we made. We did recover all the walls and patch up all the stuff that was just awful and destroyed. Put all new lighting in here. Smoke alarms actually came into this house finally. All new windows in here and new trim and baseboards and new flooring. And if you're wondering how to build this trim work on window, there's a today's task for that as well. This little bathroom is one of my favorite spots in the whole house. I call this Olivia's room because if we moved into this house, this would be Olivia's room and this would be her little personal bathroom. We did have to rip up the vanity and the toilet and redo plumbing up into here. Like I said, we redid all of the sewage lines going out of the house. So since we had it torn apart, there was a little bit of rot because of bad plumbing built in. So we laid new subflooring in this bathroom to mount all of our new plumbing to, and then put new flooring on top, new trim and molding everywhere. We did maintain the shower because, once again, it wasn't in bad condition. It just needed to be cleaned really, really well, and the plumbing needed to be replaced behind this wall. I will show you this though. This is my favorite little window in the entire house. And I don't know if it's because it's the size if it's because of just this cute little bathroom and I think of Olivia, but my grandma, Kerrigan, had a similar little bathroom in her house, and for some reason it just reminds me of it so much. So this is the vinyl flooring that we put in throughout the entire upstairs, all 1,800 square feet that are up here. We chose it because, one, it's really, really easy to maintain, it's simple to lay, and it's soft to walk on as opposed to some other hard surfaces. But most importantly, it's 100% waterproof. Not all vinyl flooring is 100%, but this particular brand is, and I will link it in the description down below. Because it's 100% waterproof, it can be in all 3 of the upstairs bathrooms and have 0 problems at all. This wall actually used to go all the way floor to ceiling, and there used to be cabinets on it, and actually a stove used to sit right here. But we took all that out, as you know, and I decided to cut this wall down to create somewhat of a banister / buffer wall for the stairs to go down. It leaves it open to downstairs, but still closed off enough to give you that safety without putting in a banister. A banister just wasn't something I really wanted to do, so I liked the look of the half wall here. I love it. And all new chandeliers and lighting throughout the entire house as well. So there actually used to be a door on this section that closed off the basement from the upstairs. Because the basement was never finished, it was a little bit scary to go down into. My wife would not go down here to get earlier photos and finishes until we started gutting it. So it took a lot of work to get her to even go down there, but now she'll live down there. In this basement, it used to be just cement walls all the way along the entire outside of the house. There was no wood sitting against this. There was no insulation. It was cold and raw. The only wood we had in here was this load-bearing wall that goes down the center of the entire house. So it clearly had to stay, and we had to work with bad dimensions from that wall over to here and from the wall to the back of the house. But the HVAC actually used to sit right here and come clear out into here between the water heater and the furnace. It took up a lot of space. It wasn't really anywhere ideal for this room to be a big room, so we took it all out, gutted all of the lines, which was an amazing feat, and moved it all to that side of the wall so that this room could be as big and open as possible. All new lighting was added, and yes, some people may say that's too many lights, but in my words, there's never enough light, ever. You can always turn a light off, but you can't turn more on if you don't got them. One of my favorite today's tasks that we've made to date, that sound right? That is right. Was cutting these egress windows in. The original windows were about a 30 by 18-inch window. They were gonna leave this basement very dark and very gloomy and feel like a basement, and I didn't want that. And I knew if I was gonna put bedrooms down in here, I wanted egress and as much sunlight as possible, especially on this window where it faces south and gets that nice sunlight. So we cut them out to a 48 by 48 and put brand new Amsco windows in as well. And into bedroom number 1, there are 2 48 by 48 inch windows. Those are ginormous, and I would be happy to call this my bedroom as well because it's just enough size for a twin or maybe even a full bed. Probably not a queen, but perfect for a little kid and perfect place for all of my Tonka trucks to sit on these big, huge window sills. All right, next was the bathroom. I really struggled on how to lay this bathroom out, and if you can tell, there's little jogs in the walls to get as much square footage as we could into this bathroom, but also maintain as much square footage as we could in the bedrooms and still fit between windows that we were kind of limited on where we could cut them out to and as big as we could cut them out to. So the bathroom ended up lining up here, and in order to do so, we actually had to cut out the concrete throughout the entire basement area from this wall a little bit past into this wall so that all of our plumbing could now be buried underneath. Now we enter into one of my favorite rooms in the entire house. This is the heartbeat of the home. Our furnace and new central air system is all built in right here with all new ducting through all of the entire house. This is a really, really small utility space, but it's plenty big because of a few things we did. One, we put in an inline water heater, which takes up very little space, but also guarantees you hot water that never ends. You can take a 10-hour shower. That was really important to me to put in here. I really wanted to see how the systems work, how efficiently they are, and they are awesome, and that is what I want to change my house to now because of it. Also, we had to create enough room for this stack, these pipes that are coming out of the floor. In this house, the sewage going out is actually above grade, so our sewage down below won't make it up by gravity feed. So we have to put in a maceration tank. This goes down into the ground 35 inches, and all of the plumbing in the basement flows into here. It churns it all up. That's pretty descriptive. and then it spits it right back out this line, and that's why there's electrical right here, so that it can churn it and pump it out. And for this basement, it had zero electricity down here. It had zero plumbing down here that was meant for this area, so all new plumbing had to go in here and all new electrical. We pulled every single wire, all new hots, all the way from the panel upstairs to down here, so that we can have what we call a sub panel and run all of our bedroom lights and outlets and all of the utilities that are built into this room. We are now in the last bedroom downstairs. When this house was first purchased, it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. Now that we're finished, it is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house. That's pretty cool, and I was happy to see what we could do with the space that we were given. This is a very good sized bedroom in here. Once again, with a big window. Because this one, we didn't have enough room for the 48 by 48, we went 48 by 30, and we had to do a different style of opening for it to meet egress standards, but they are met, and now this is a safe window for a child to exit out of, and it creates that awesome, ginormous windowsill that I love. You guys, I really hope you enjoyed the tour of the house and the final work that we've gone into putting it into. It was a really fun project. I'm glad we did it. I'd like to give you a cost breakdown, and that'll be coming in a video soon, so stay tuned for that. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Well, you guys, the house is pretty much done. It's done. It's done. The inside of the house is done. But I have one last thing to do here, and that is to clean out this shed and make it so that it's just not scary looking, because it's a little scary looking right now. Finished project. Oh, that's done. Wait for this car. Man, I forgot how much I hate working outside. I'm gonna start outside, even though these are not the beginning. The next few things we did next outside was we replaced all, sorry. Okay, we knew when we bought this house, I teetered behind. When we bought this house, I teetered beyond, what's the word? Oh, no, that didn't work. And, how do I want to word that? Egress, case that, sorry. It was hard to convince her not to. That's done. What did I say? So we laid new subflooring, new. There's barely enough room in here for the camera and me.